English Leap Podcast.
From Speak English with Class.
Hello, and welcome to English Talk Flow. We're so happy you're joining us today.
That's right. If you're new here, I'm Jack.
And I'm Emily. On this channel, we help you improve your English by having real, everyday conversations. We want to make learning fun, and we promise no boring grammar lessons here.
Exactly. If you like our videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. It really helps us out, and it means we can keep making videos for you.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Now today, we have a super interesting topic. We're going to talk about habits. Yes, those little things we do every day.
We all have habits, right? Some good, some not so good.
Exactly. So today, we're going to walk you through some of our morning habits, work habits, evening routines, and we'll even get into some bad habits we want to break.
That's right. And we'll teach you some cool phrases and vocabulary along the way, so stick around. Let's get started with morning habits, the things we do when we first wake up.
All right, Jack. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Well, the very first thing I do when I wake up is check my phone.
You're one of those people. I do the same thing, actually. I check the time, then I see if I have any messages or notifications.
Yeah, it's pretty automatic, right? I don't even think about it anymore. But I've heard that looking at your phone first thing in the morning isn't the best habit.
Oh, for sure. I've read that the blue light from your phone can mess with your eyes, and it's not great for your brain either.
Yeah, but it's hard to break that habit. So, what about you, Emily? What's the first thing you do in the morning?
Well, after I wake up, I have a pretty good habit. I always drink a glass of water.
That's a healthy habit. I need to start doing that. Drinking water in the morning helps to wake up your body.
It really does. It's a great way to start the day. So, let's talk about what happens next. After your first wake-up habit, what's next in your morning routine?
After I check my phone, I get out of bed and make my coffee.
Coffee? You know, I love coffee, but I'm more of a tea person in the morning.
I see. Well, I always drink my coffee first thing. Without it, I'm pretty much useless.
I can relate. I used to be like that. But now, I just enjoy a nice cup of tea, maybe with some toast.
Sounds lovely. I bet that's the perfect way to start the day. Tea, toast, and maybe some quiet time.
Exactly. It's important to have those morning rituals. But Jack, do you have any other morning habits besides coffee and checking your phone?
Well, one habit I try to do every morning is making my bed. It's a small thing, but it feels nice to start the day with a tidy room.
Oh, that's a good habit. I try to do that too, but sometimes I'm just too rushed in the morning.
Yeah, I get that. Mornings can be hectic sometimes, but having a clean bed just makes the room look better, don't you think?
I totally agree. A tidy bed can make a huge difference. So, what about breakfast? Do you have any specific habits when it comes to your morning meal?
I do. I usually have toast with butter and, of course, coffee. It's simple, but it's what I love.
Nice. Sounds like a classic breakfast. I mix it up a bit. I sometimes have yogurt with fruit or cereal, but I always have tea.
A good habit. Tea is healthy and it's so comforting.
All right. Now that we've covered our morning routines, let's move on to something we all do every day. Work habits.
That's right. Whether you work from home, in an office, or study at school, we all have certain habits at work. So, Emily, when you start working in the morning, what's your first habit?
Well, the first thing I do when I sit down at my desk is I always make a to-do list.
A to-do list. That's a great habit. I think it really helps to stay organized and focused.
Exactly. I write down everything I need to get done for the day. It's a habit that helps me stay on track. What about you, Jack? What's your first work habit?
I usually check my email first thing when I start working. It's not the most productive, but I like to get rid of any urgent messages before diving into the day's tasks.
Ah, I see. I do the same sometimes, especially if I have important messages to read. But I try to avoid getting distracted by emails in the morning.
Yeah, emails can be a bit of a rabbit hole sometimes. You start with one, then before you know it, you've spent an hour replying to all sorts of things.
Oh, I've definitely done that. But let's talk about work habits that help us stay productive. I also make sure I take short breaks throughout the day. I'm not one to sit for hours without moving around.
That's a good habit. It's important to step away from the screen every once in a while. I try to take a walk or stretch every couple of hours.
Yeah, I think moving your body is key. Otherwise, I get stiff and lose focus. What about when it comes to deadlines or meetings? Do you have any habits for staying on top of those?
Meetings. I'll admit I'm a bit bad about being on time for meetings sometimes. I always think I have more time, and then suddenly I'm rushing.
Oh no, Jack, you need to work on that habit. You should try arriving 5 minutes early next time.
You're right. I definitely need to change that. Being late to meetings is not a great habit, especially when everyone's waiting for you.
Exactly. Now, moving on, let's talk about work habits that help us stay focused. One thing I always do is set small goals throughout the day. If I finish one task, I reward myself by crossing it off the list.
I love that. It feels so good to cross something off. It's a small win that keeps me motivated.
Exactly. It's like a little celebration for every task completed. What about you? Do you have any other work habits that help you stay productive?
Well, one habit I've recently developed is writing down my thoughts before I start working. Sometimes my mind gets distracted, and writing it all out helps me refocus.
That's such a good tip. Sometimes writing down your ideas helps clear up mental clutter and brings clarity.
Yeah, I find it really helps to clear my mind and get back to work. So, do you have any habits for staying organized, Emily?
Definitely. I always try to keep my workspace clean and organized. If my desk is messy, it makes me feel chaotic inside, so I take 5 minutes every morning to tidy up.
I agree with you there. A clean desk really makes a difference. I'm more productive when everything is in order.
Same here, and it's such a simple habit to start the day with.
Definitely. Now, as we move through the day, we're going to talk about some evening habits next. What do we do after work to unwind?
All right, Jack. Now that we've talked about our work habits, let's move on to evening habits. After a long day, how do you usually unwind?
Well, after work, I usually feel pretty tired. My first habit is to sit on the sofa for about 10 minutes and do nothing. Just relax.
That sounds nice. A little time to rest is important. I usually take a short walk after work, especially if I've been sitting all day. It helps me clear my mind.
That's a good habit. I should try that sometimes. After my 10 minutes on the sofa, I often go to the gym.
The gym? Impressive. I usually don't go to the gym every evening, but I do like to stretch or do some yoga at home.
Stretching is great. It helps with flexibility and relaxes your muscles. At the gym, I usually run on the treadmill or lift small weights.
Nice. And after exercising, what's your next habit?
I cook dinner for myself. I like to eat healthy, so I try to cook at home instead of ordering food.
That's a good habit. I also cook, but sometimes I order food if I'm too busy. Cooking at home is healthier, and you know exactly what's in your food.
Exactly. After dinner, my next habit is washing the dishes. I hate dirty dishes in the kitchen, so I try to wash them right away.
I have a different habit. I often leave the dishes for the next morning. I know it's not ideal, but sometimes I'm just too tired.
Ha ha ha. Yes, we all have those little habits. After cleaning up, I usually relax by watching a TV series or a movie.
I do the same. I like to watch comedies or something light-hearted to end the day with a smile. What kind of shows do you like?
I like sports and documentaries sometimes. Watching sports helps me relax, and documentaries can be interesting.
That sounds fun. And before going to bed, I have a bedtime routine. I always brush my teeth, then read a book for about 15 minutes.
A bedtime routine is important. I also brush my teeth, but I sometimes check my phone in bed. I know it's a bad habit.
Yes, the light from the phone can affect your sleep. Maybe we should both try to avoid phones in bed from now on.
Good idea. So, to summarize, our evening habits include relaxing, exercising or stretching, cooking, cleaning, watching TV, and bedtime routines.
Exactly. Evening habits are important because they help us relax and prepare for the next day. A good evening routine can also improve your sleep and overall well-being.
Yes. And some habits are simple, like brushing your teeth, while others might take more effort, like exercising or cooking dinner.
Right. The key is consistency. Doing these habits regularly helps them become automatic, so you don't have to think too much about them.
That's true. And small habits can make a big difference over time. Even just taking a few minutes to stretch or tidy your space can improve your day.
Exactly. And in the next part, we'll talk about weekend habits, which are often different from weekday routines.
Yes, weekends are special. People usually have more time, so they do different activities like meeting friends, sports, or relaxing.
All right, Jack, we've talked about morning, work, and evening habits. Now let's talk about weekend habits. Are your weekends different from weekdays?
Oh yes, definitely. My weekend habits are very different. On Saturday mornings, I always sleep in. Sometimes I wake up at 10 a.m., sometimes even 11 a.m.
Wow, that's late. I wake up around 8 a.m. even on weekends. I like to have a slow morning. I usually drink coffee and read the news.
That sounds peaceful. On Saturday, I usually meet my friends for lunch. We like to go to a small restaurant near the park. The food is really good.
Sounds fun. I sometimes meet my friends, but I also enjoy spending time at home relaxing. What about sports? Do you play any on weekends?
Yes, sometimes I play football with my friends, but not every weekend. It's a good exercise.
That's good. I usually go for a long walk or a bike ride. Exercise is important, even on weekends.
Absolutely. And Sundays are a bit different for me. Sunday is my cleaning day. I always clean my apartment. I vacuum the floors, clean the bathroom, and wash my clothes.
Wow, that's organised. I clean too, but I usually do it when my apartment is dirty. Maybe once every 2 weeks.
Haha, we all have our habits. After cleaning, I like to relax and maybe watch a movie or read a book.
I do the same. Weekends are a good time to enjoy hobbies. Sometimes I bake something sweet or work on a creative project.
Nice. Weekend habits are often more flexible. People usually have more time so they can try new activities or do something fun.
Exactly. Some weekend habits are social, like meeting friends or going out. Others are personal, like reading, exercising, or relaxing at home.
And it's important to balance fun and productivity. You can enjoy yourself but also prepare for the upcoming week.
Yes. For example, Sunday evening can include planning your week ahead, making a to-do list, or setting goals.
That's a good habit. It helps you feel organized and reduces stress during the week.
So, weekend habits include sleeping in, meeting friends, doing sports or hobbies, cleaning, relaxing, and planning for the week.
Exactly. And everyone's weekend habits are different depending on their lifestyle, work schedule, and interests.
Right. But one thing is common. Weekends are a great time to build good habits that are enjoyable and sustainable.
Yes, small habits on weekends, like reading for 30 minutes or going for a walk, can have a big impact over time.
Absolutely. And in the next part, we'll talk about bad habits, something we all have but want to change.
Yes, I know I have a few bad habits. Let's discuss them and maybe find ways to replace them with good habits.
All right, Jack. Now let's talk about something we all have. Bad habits.
Oh yes, Emily, I have quite a few. For example, I often bite my nails.
Really? When do you usually do that?
Usually when I'm nervous or thinking about a problem. It's a bad habit, I know.
I understand. I sometimes do that too when I'm stressed. But you also have good habits, right?
Yes, I do. But today, let's focus on the bad ones. Another bad habit is losing my sunglasses. I've lost maybe 5 or 6 pairs this year.
Wow, that's a lot. That's an expensive habit.
Yes, definitely. And my most expensive bad habit is buying coffee every day from a coffee shop. Even though I have a coffee machine at home.
Ah, yes, that's costly. I sometimes buy coffee outside, but usually I make it at home.
Habits like these are hard to break because they're comfortable and feel natural. But we can change them if we start small.
Exactly. The first step is awareness. You need to notice the bad habit and when it happens.
Right? For example, I realized I always check my phone in bed before sleeping. That's not good for my eyes or sleep quality.
Yes, screen time before bed is a common bad habit. A small change can help, like reading a book instead.
Another bad habit is procrastination. Sometimes I delay tasks, like writing emails or doing chores.
I do that too. A useful tip is to start with just 5 minutes. Once you begin, it's easier to continue.
Good idea. And then there's unhealthy eating. I sometimes eat too much junk food, especially when I'm busy or stressed.
Yes, that's very common. One way to improve is to replace unhealthy snacks with healthy options like fruit or nuts.
Another bad habit I have is staying up too late on weekends. I enjoy watching movies or videos, but it makes Monday mornings hard.
Oh, I know that feeling. A small adjustment, like setting a bedtime alarm, can help.
So bad habits can be about health, productivity, or even money. But the good news is we can replace them with good habits gradually.
Exactly. Start small, be consistent, and reward yourself. For example, if you stop buying coffee outside, you can save money for something enjoyable.
Or if I stop checking my phone in bed, I might sleep better and feel more energetic in the morning.
Right. Remember, breaking a bad habit takes time, but small steps make a big difference.
Yes, and it's okay to make mistakes. Don't get discouraged. Just try again tomorrow.
Absolutely. And now that we've discussed bad habits, in the next part we'll talk about new habits, how to start good ones and stick with them.
Yes, I'm excited to plan some new habits for myself.
All right, Jack. Now let's focus on something positive. New habits. How can we start good habits in English and in life?
Yes, Emily. I read that the key is starting small. Don't try to change everything at once.
Exactly. For example, if you want to start exercising, begin with just 5 minutes of walking every day.
Right? And if you want to read more books, start with just 1 page per night.
Consistency is very important. Doing something small every day is better than doing a lot only occasionally.
Absolutely. Another tip is to attach a new habit to an existing one. For example, after brushing your teeth in the morning, you can drink a glass of water.
Yes, that's called habit stacking. It makes it easier to remember and maintain your new habit.
And it helps to track your progress. Writing down what you do every day motivates you to continue.
Exactly. You can use a calendar or a habit tracker app. It feels good to see your progress.
Let's give some examples of simple new habits. Drinking more water, exercising for 10 minutes, reading 1 page of a book, or calling your family more often.
Yes, and learning English every day is also a habit. For example, practicing new words or watching English videos regularly.
Another good idea is to replace a bad habit with a good one. For example, if you check your phone in bed, read a book instead.
Yes. Or if you buy coffee every day, try making it at home. Small changes add up over time.
And remember, it's okay to start slowly. Don't get discouraged if you miss a day. Just continue tomorrow.
Exactly. Habits are built over time. Even small steps make a difference.
I want to start a new habit of eating fruit every day. Instead of cookies, I will have a banana with my coffee.
That's a great idea, Jack. I want to start calling my family more often. I usually text them, but calling is more personal.
Perfect. And we can also practice English as a habit. For example, speaking with a friend, writing a journal, or watching a 10-minute English video daily.
Yes, learning English becomes easier when it's a habit. Even 10 minutes a day is very effective.
So the key points for new habits are: start small, be consistent, attach new habits to old ones, track your progress, and replace bad habits with good ones.
Exactly. And don't forget to reward yourself when you succeed. A little reward helps your brain connect good feelings to the new habit.
I feel motivated, Emily. Let's start practicing these new habits today.
Yes, Jack. And after this, we'll review some important vocabulary we used in this lesson to make sure everyone remembers the words about habit. All right, Jack. Now it's time for a vocabulary review. We've used so many useful words about habits today. Let's go through them one by one.
Yes, Emily. First word, habit. A habit is something you do regularly, almost automatically. For example, brushing your teeth every morning is a habit.
Exactly. And habits can be good or bad. Good habits are healthy or useful, like exercising or reading. Bad habits are unhealthy or not useful, like biting your nails or losing your sunglasses.
Next, we have routine. A routine is a sequence of habits you do regularly. For example, my morning routine is wake up, brush my teeth, drink coffee, and read the news.
Perfect. Then we have words we use to talk about frequency. First is always. It means 100% of the time. For example, I always brush my teeth before breakfast.
And the opposite is never, which means 0%. I never drink coffee for breakfast, only tea.
Next is usually. It means most of the time, but not always. I usually take the bus to work. Sometimes I walk if the weather is nice.
Then we have often, which means many times, but less than usually. I often watch movies on the weekend.
And sometimes, which is less frequent than often. I sometimes eat chocolate for dessert.
Great. Now let's review healthy and unhealthy. Healthy means good for your body or mind, like exercising or eating vegetables. Unhealthy means not good, like smoking or eating too much sugar.
And we also talked about attach, which we used in attach a new habit to an old one. It means to connect one thing to another.
Another important word is consistency. Doing something regularly without skipping is being consistent. For example, practicing English every day builds consistency.
Yes. Then there's track. To track means to check your progress. You can track your habits using a calendar or app.
And we used replace when we talked about replacing a bad habit with a good habit. For example, instead of checking your phone in bed, read a book.
Finally, let's review stacking or habit stacking. It means putting a new habit after an existing habit to make it easier to remember.
So today we learned habit, routine, always, never, usually, often, sometimes, healthy, unhealthy, attach, consistency, track, replace, and habit stacking.
Yes, that's a lot of vocabulary, but it's very useful for talking about habits.
Let's practice with a few examples. Emily, can you make a sentence using habit and routine?
Sure. My habit is drinking tea every morning. My morning routine is brushing my teeth, drinking tea, and reading the news.
Excellent. Now can you use usually and sometimes in one sentence?
Yes. I usually walk to work, but sometimes I take the bus if it rains.
Perfect. These examples show how you can use these words naturally in conversation.
Exactly. Now, viewers, try making your own sentences using these words in the comments. It's a great way to practice English and remember today's lesson.
Yes. Writing sentences is a good habit for learning English. And don't worry if you make mistakes. The important thing is practicing regularly.
Very true, Jack. Consistency is the key, and we'll read your comments to give feedback and encouragement.
Great. Now that we've reviewed the vocabulary, let's move on to a quick summary of everything we learned today.
All right, Jack. We've talked a lot today. Let's do a quick summary for our viewers so they can remember everything.
Yes, Emily. First, we learned about habits. A habit is something you do regularly, almost automatically. Habits can be good or bad, and everyone has both.
Exactly. Then we discussed morning habits. Examples include brushing your teeth, making your bed, drinking tea or coffee, and checking your phone. Some habits are healthy, like drinking water or eating fruit. Some are less healthy, like checking your phone too much in the morning.
Next, we talked about work habits. Some good work habits are making a to-do list, organizing tasks, and arriving on time for meetings. Bad work habits might include being late or forgetting important tasks.
Then we discussed evening habits, like cooking dinner, exercising, relaxing, watching TV, or reading before sleep. Evening routines can help you end the day in a positive way.
We also talked about weekend habits. Some people sleep late, meet friends, play sports, or clean the house. Weekends are a time to balance rest, fun, and productivity.
And we didn't forget bad habits. Everyone has them. Some are small, like biting nails or losing sunglasses. Some are more expensive, like buying coffee every day instead of making it at home.
We also learned about building new habits. Start small, be consistent, attach a new habit to an old one, and track your progress. Habit stacking is a great way to remember new habits.
Then we did a vocabulary review. We learned words like habit, routine, always, never, usually, often, Sometimes healthy, unhealthy, attach, consistency, track, replace, and habit stacking. These words help you talk about habits naturally.
Exactly. And now it's time for the question of the day. This is the most important part for your practice.
Yes, we want you to write your answer in the comments. Today's question is, what is one good habit you have and one bad habit you want to change?
For example, you could write, my good habit is I always study English for 10 minutes every day. My bad habit is I sometimes watch too much TV.
Or, my good habit is I usually eat vegetables for lunch. My bad habit is I never go to bed early.
Any answer is great because we are here to practice English together. Don't worry about making mistakes. The most important thing is using what you learned today.
Yes, writing in the comments is a good habit for learning English. You'll improve your vocabulary, grammar, and confidence.
And remember, learning English is like building habits. Start small, be consistent, and celebrate progress.
Beautifully said, Jack. So, viewers, keep practicing, keep learning, and remember to be kind to yourself. Learning is a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It helps other English learners find us.
And if you haven't subscribed to English Talk, click the subscribe button. We make new videos every week to help you practice real English.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. You are all wonderful students.
We'll see you next time for another lesson. And remember,
Keep practicing your habits and keep learning English.